Actually, 1, 2, 3. There we go. So anyway, we happy to be here. Again, happy to see Sister Wilson. We're still praying for you, still praying for Deacon Brown and his family. We're happy to see each of you here this morning. Again, we realize the crowds are still light because people are starting to slowly come back. But we have to do what God has called us to do.
Yes.
And the good thing about us, because we are a little small and we're able to, and people not here right now, we're able to branch out and stretch out. And so we want to say thank you for those that are still coming. I want to say a special thanks to brother and sister Willie Turner and Diane Turner, because they've been coming out playing. They came out to the homegoing and showed out for us, praying that Sister Wilson was pleased with them coming out. They did the very best they could. Again, remember, choir members are still, working their way back, and we understand that. And I had to go to Walmart this morning at 8 o'clock to shop because I can't do them 12 people in a line. I got a couple of things out of there. The young lady said, you on your way to church? I said, yes. She said, y'all open? I said, yes. I said, we're open. I said, we're a little smaller so that we can spread out. She said, okay. And that's where we were at. So I told them, whenever you want to come, we're always here and our door is always open. We cannot allow the devil to defeat us. Amen.
Yes.
So in this day and age, first of all, once we post this on YouTube, I guess I need to say, this is the Greater Mount Airy Missionary Baptist Church. 1841 Chambers Road, St. Louis, Missouri, 63136. And if you need prayer, I want to say your donations. We're always a God. Guess we got to get the disclaimer out the way first. But in the meantime, in between time, won't hold you long. If you go to Romans, the 12th chapter, verses 1 to 8. Romans, the 12th chapter, verses 1 to 8. And while you're getting it normally for our, eventually our internet audience, we normally read this in concert, but I'm going to go ahead and read it. And it says, starting at verse 1, Romans 12, 1 through 8. I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your body a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. Verse 3 says, for I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly according as God has dealt to every man the measure of faith. For as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office, so we being many are one body in Christ, and every one member one of another, having then gifts differing according to the grace that is given to us. Whether prophecy, let us prophesy according to the proportionate of faith. Or ministry, let us wait on our ministry. Or he that teaches on teaching. Or he that exalt on exaltation. He that giveth, let him do it with simplicity. He that ruleth with diligence, he that soweth showeth mercy with cheerfulness. Just for a brief moment this morning, I want to talk about be transformed. Romans, the 12th chapter, the first 2 verses tell us that we have to be transformed. And it says, first of all, transformed because we have a responsibility towards God. And it says, our responsibility towards God, he said, I beseech you, therefore, brother, by the mercies of God, that you present your body a living sacrifice. How many know sometimes making sacrifices are not easy? But the Bible teaches us that we, first of all, if we want to please God, in verse 1 and 2, it says, we must be transformed. And the first thing you have to be transformed is, he said, you have to present your body a living sacrifice, which is your reasonable service. And so when I look at the word and think about what is reasonable, and it's objective of a person having sound judgment, faith, and sincerity, I have to have the sincere desire that I'm willing to make this transformation. Because if not, my body will still want to do the old things that it used to do. It still wants to be held by the old hands that used to hold it. My body still wants to be caressed by the old hands that used to caress it. Oh, I'm just talking about me up in here, not you. And so if I'm not careful, I have to first of all renew my body and give up some stuff that I wouldn't give up. And then I have to not only do that, I have to renew my mind, which simply means I have to start thinking differently. I can't think like I did 2 weeks ago, but want a new result next week. We are in a day and age where right now, I said it Wednesday during the homegoing service, we are actually walking through the valley of the shadow of death. Because we got a plague on every hand, and everywhere you go, you got to have on a mask. And everybody now on TV is prophesizing about, what God is going to do for you in the future. I'm here to tell you, you better get your life together and live right now, or the future won't matter. Because right now is when time is at hand. Right now is when it's time for you to step up and show your faith in God. Right now it's time for you to treat one another better than you have before. Right now it's the time for you to step out on faith and make a sacrifice. And how do I do that? I stop listening to the gossip on the news. I stop worrying about what's coming. It's this doomsday. And what I continue to do is give God the praise in the midst of the situation. In the midst of the storm, I continue to give God praise. Has anybody ever driven through a storm before? And sometimes you just don't have the option to pull over and stop. You just got to slow down and take your time. But you got a place to get to, a race to run, and a race to finish. And sometimes you can't stop. You just got to slow down. And so God says, I need you to slow down to the point where you start thinking about what you're thinking. I need you to renew your mind and get rid of that clutter that's cluttering up your brain, that clutter that's cluttering up your thought process, that clutter that's cluttering up your blessings. I want a blessing that I don't have room enough to receive. And yet, I don't give God 2 cents. And yet I got a neighbor that's hungry and won't do anything for him because my mind is still set on it's me and all about me. But how do you know there's somebody going through something worse than what you're going through? All of us go through something from time to time, but how do you know somebody somewhere in this world, in fact, we ain't got to go that far, somebody in this city is going through far much more than what you're going through. You worried about, hey, I just went through this, I went through that, and somebody else right now is about to be evicted. The only reason they haven't been evicted is because they can't be because of the law right now. But as soon as it's lifted, their weight comes back on them saying, how am I going to get through this here? Some folks got a stimulus check and it was gone that same week because they had a bunch of bills that was due. How do you know what God says? If you renew your mind, you won't worry about your bills. You won't worry about how you make it because God has got your back. How many know God's on your side this morning? So he tells you, you want to get through this, renew your mind. Renew your thought process. He goes on in verses 6 to 13, he says there's a responsibility that we have toward society, that we have towards one another, that we have towards the congregation. He says, for I say through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to, but to think soberly according to the measure of faith. How do you know sometimes you can get beside yourself? I'm not talking about nobody up in here. Sometimes you can get beside yourself because you high-minded, got a great education, and you can pronounce every word, cross every T, dot every I, know where to place every period and every comma. And so as a result, if you're not careful because you got a little money in the bank, you think you're better than everybody else. But let me remind you of the business scenario of a church, just like the business of a business. How many know of the 80-20% rule? Have you ever heard of the 80-20% rule? Simply what it means is 80% of your customers, 80% of your congregation does 20% of the work. You don't believe that's true? Well, think about it. Out of all the folks we got, who's here today? The 20%. Who keeps the church going? It's the 20%. The 80% are the ones who come into the meeting and want to start talking about finances. And when you look back over their record, you realize in a whole year and a half, they gave it a total of $7.25. And they're the ones who want to question where the bill money is going in the church, where this is going, where that's going, why we don't have this. And all you got to do is pull out their record, their receipt, and say, this is why we don't have that, because you won't support. But I'm here to remind you, the 20%, that God is still in the blessing business. But stop looking for a blessing and start looking for a miracle. Anybody know what I'm talking about? I don't need any financial blessing. That's going to come on its own, because as soon as it comes, God has a way of making it go somewhere. So I'm not really worried about my finances, but I want my state of mind. I want my head to be together. I want my heart to be right. I want to be in good standing, and I want to hear the word, well done, my good and faithful servant. Is anybody trying to hear, well done, when this journey is over? Forget about the stuff you accumulate. Forget about the money you have. Forget about the cars you have. Forget about all that. And what about your soul?
Yes, Lord. Yes.
What about your soul?
Yes, Lord.
Yes.
What a sad indictment to die and have a great amount of wealth, a great amount of stuff. Been coming to church for 20, 30 years, but somewhere along the line, never develop a relationship with God. And that's what we're going through this day and age now. People are being tested to find out, do you really have a relationship with God? In fact, not just people, but there are some preachers being tested. Do you have a relationship with God? Can you hang on in there and get through this? Or is you just worried about your paycheck? I'm here to tell you,
Yes, Lord.
it's time out
Yes.
to worry about oneself
Yes.
when you're in ministry, when you ought to be worrying about the entire congregation.
Yes, Lord. Yes.
You shouldn't be all that happy locked up inside your house saying, ooh, I'm safe. But I don't know nothing about Sister King or Brother Turner. Them folks who I see every Sunday, haven't called to check on them, didn't see if they needed anything, a bottle of water, a jug of juice, anything. But instead, I'm so worried about me. And then what happens, I would tell folks that, you know, that scripture lie that, oh, I ain't going out, I'm staying in the house. But then you turn around and see them in Walmarts. You turn around and see them in Snooks. But they talk about I'm staying locked in. No, you're not staying locked in because you're in the lottery line right in front of me. What are you talking about? Who you kidding up in here? But, oh, I'm so locked in. In fact, you were playing your numbers, didn't even have your mask on. You sitting there worrying about what you turn around and ask me, what's coming out, Rev? I don't know. How about Corona-19? I don't know. Whatever you think is coming, I don't have nothing to do with it. But you can't come to church, but you're trying to pick three. Something is wrong with your priority. How about renewing your mind and get a relationship with Jesus so he can bless you and you ain't got to worry about a pick three?
Come on, say that.
Because I got a relationship with God.
That's right. That's right.
He's my lottery number.
Yeah.
So I know somebody watching this morning said, well, Red, what is the number? It's called COVID-19.
Yeah.
And if you want to, just put another number on that 19 and change the 187. It's going to be called death. So you can call it whatever you want to call it. But the bottom line, don't get a relationship with God, and all you're going to be seeing is the funeral home from the inside out. I'm here to tell somebody, time is wasted for us to be playing with God. But it's time now to have a relationship with God. Forget all that prosperity and God's got a blessing with your name on. Right now, you better get a relationship with God so he can have medicine with your name on it. Anybody know what I'm talking about? I don't need a blessing. I just need to be healed. I need to stay alive another day. Does anybody want to stay alive? Does anybody got something to live for? I got Jesus on the inside. And as long as I got Jesus, he is my face man. I'm here to tell you today, God will make a way out of no way. Come on, let's give God a praise and get ready to go home. He's in the blessing business. But he's also in the protection business. I feel like I'm witness. I feel like I done snitched on somebody in the FBI that put me in witness protection. Because God's got my back, my front, my side, and my shoes, and my top. Anybody know what I'm talking about? I got a God who's still in the blessing Mama Judy.
Yes.
And those who finally get to see me on YouTube.
Yes.
Don't give up on God.
That's right.
Because God hasn't given up on you.
That's right.
God is still in the blessing business.
That's right.
But stop looking for somebody to tell you your blessing's right around the corner when you're living like crap. This is the time to live and get your life together. And go back and read some of them Old Testament stories and realize this ain't the first time a plague has been upon us. But this too shall pass. Come on, give God a hand praise.